Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna talk about some problems I see which are in SCUM and which make the play experience kinda bad. Even though SCUM is a very cool and ambitious game and I do like it a lot, but I think before they do a full release they need to fix the problems which are solvable, even though some of them aren't solvable. First thing is the character creation, second thing is the map, and the third thing is like PvP and like the building meta or building things, like problems with the building system and raiding meta as well. So starting off with the character creation, I made a video already why you shouldn't split your skill points. It's basically because you're wasting 100,000, like hundreds of thousands of XP if you go half over here, or if you go something else than 333 over here. So that's the first thing they should fix, because if I go like that and like that, I probably wasted around 800,000 skill points. If you want to know why, yeah, go and check out my video. It's called Why You Shouldn't Split the Skill Points. The second thing is that because of how some of the skills are leveled and the difference in how they are like leveling. For example, archery is the easiest skill basically to level, because you just go and shoot razors in their legs with wooden arrows. Or the actual use of endurance, which is basically nothing compared to the running skill, because the running has endurance in it. It makes you faster and it makes you drain less stamina. This just lowers your resource cost for running and your the time to recharge your energy, so that's the only viable option up here, the running. Down here, thievery or demolition are the only skills you need to choose over here, because they are a fucking bitch to level up. The other ones are easy to level, it just takes time. For example, stealth is like AFK level. Same as over here, awareness is pretty easy to level. Sniping is just resource intense, but it goes fast because there's like some tricks which you can do. I'm gonna make a video about how to level everything really fast as well, and why this is basically the only build you can go for. The only problem is medical, because medical takes a lot of resources and a lot of patience to level up, and it's just, yeah, basically the only option. Maybe if you don't want to go for medical, you can go for engineering, but awareness, sniping, camouflage, awareness and sniping or camouflage are AFK things which you can easily do, and sniping is just resource intense, and that's it. So yeah, that's basically it for the character creation. Let's go to the map. Okay, talking about the map, in general I would need to say that I like the map. It's looking fine, it's looking natural, we have different areas and all that shit, which is pretty cool. But my problem with the whole thing is that the map is very huge, and if you combine all the interesting places, which are also very cool, right? Like, don't get me wrong, the map itself looks cool, all the places are cool. But if you combine all the places at the maximum, it is one sector in total. Like the area they would fill is one sector, not more. Like the city would be top edge, the city would be the middle part, and then you can fit this airport over there, which is also a lot of like nothing. Same for this airport, and then all the other spaces, like all the other places, if you fit all of them into this sector, it probably wouldn't even fill the whole sector. And now the thing is, one sector we have 25 of them. Like, it's 5 by 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So that's 4%. So 4% of the map is visitable places, like points of interest, where you can go to, where you can explore shit. 4%, right? And the other 96% is just landscape, and I mean, we can cut out a good amount of water, but still. Maybe let's say 15% water. We have 4% of that shit, so we are left with 81% of just landscape, where you have trees and grassland and a few roads. But at the end, that's it already. Like 4% is visitable space on the map. And the problem with that is that all these places are just like so far away from each other. Like, for example, from the city to the trader, if you don't have a vehicle, you're probably walking like over 30 minutes already, which is just insane because you're just in this game. I mean, the second name of the game is, as many of you maybe know, fucking walking simulator, because you just walk all the time. And that interacts with like all the things you do. For example, going for a resource gathering takes a lot of time. Going for PvP even takes more time because, I mean, even if we have a full server with 70 people, that would be less than 3 people per sector, right? Going from one special place to another special place, maybe to get some weapons and shit. Also, just everything takes so much time because you just walk so much. On the other side, which is a pro point of that thing, but I think the only pro point is you have enough space to build bases, and not everyone can find them within the first few hours or something, right? So that's the pro side, because there's like a lot of land, so there's a lot of spaces here where you can build. But I think the downsides on this one, they're bigger. But I think also this is not a problem that's solvable, because yeah, SCUM is just the way that it has a fucking huge map. But I hear that they want to even make map additions and add more to the map. And I think if they do that, then you don't see any players anymore most of the time, because it's already so big and so widely spread open, right? Okay, then going to the last part. Okay, coming to the third part now, which consists of multiple points. I'm going to talk about the current balance, about like all of the shit in the game. So for example, current building meta, from what I've seen so far, is you just build 2 walls high and then you store your shit on places where people can't get to, like you have your base, and there's just no way up the area. So everyone who's raiding your base, they would get into your base and they would see that there's no way up there. So the only thing is they could destroy the foundations, but that would drop the ceilings, but that would drop everything. And then they don't get the loot and you don't keep your loot. So that's basically already the first bullshit. Second thing is, for people that to build bases, one wall basically does nothing, because, I mean, even if you have a wall and you have your second floor and you have some defenses at the lower level, right? They can just bypass that by doing like two people crouch, or one dude crouches in the edge and the other one jumps on this dude's head, and then when he jumps again, the second one can stand up and then the first one can crawl over the edge. So one wall won't save you. You always need to do 2 walls, because people can just, like with a glitch of jumping on other people, crawl up the edge. Second problem is with the building, I think the resource investment to build a base is just at some point too high, because I mean, just the like what it takes to build a good base with like a lot of defense measurements and all the requirements. For example, like layered walls, protected entrance, a spot for your car. All that shit just so expensive and can be blown by people who have like enough explosives. Even though explosives are expensive, don't get me wrong with that. But at the end, yeah, you go to the abandoned bunker, you loot the big room first, and with a bit of luck you get grenades. And especially for the first levels of base building, the grenades, they just blow your base and you're fucked over, right? Another thing which is not good in my opinion with the meta is the raiding itself, because at some point it's basically pointless. And just for the fun. I mean, raiding for the fun is always should be one main thing, but loot wise, everything you get from a raid you can also just get by going to abandoned bunker and loot that place. If you have a good lockpicker, you can get so many weapons in there. You can also sell the weapons to get so much fucking money, and it's just like screwed up, because in bases itself, there's no end game loot which you can acquire. So if I would need to compare that to a game like Ark, even though they're not very comparable, but in Ark you can make your dinos and then you breed these dinos, and the lines actually have worth because they've been bred over years from people, and they have so good stats that people who have new dinos which are just tamed and just raised the first time, which are just a new breeding line, they're so much worse than the good ones, and the only way to get to the good ones is by raid for them, produce something to buy them, or go to Facebook Marketplace and buy them over there. But I think you get what I mean. Like there's end game shit, and also like blueprints which craft you insane weapons and all that shit, and that makes like end game and Orc very good thing, and like actually loot which is worth something, because people just can't go to a place and then loot it by themselves. If we compare it to Rust, the thing with Rust is there's also no endgame loot, from what I know. Never played much Rust, but I think it's like basically the same like SCUM loot wise. But the thing with Rust is that it's like fast paced and the server wipes, so the focus of Rust is more shooting and the PvP thing, which is not the thing in SCUM, because also in Rust the map is very small and you see way more people and fight with them and all that shit, which is not the case in SCUM, because in SCUM, yeah, like I said, the map is just so big and everything is more based on realism, right? And also coming to the PvP aspect of the game, one big thing I see as a very big problem is the third person. I mean, they do have this mechanic with that people don't render if you don't see them in first person. But I mean, first of all, it sometimes glitches. I can even blend one clip in, and I will. That will first of all fuck you up if they don't render correctly. And the second thing is, it just like with the camouflage skill together, that makes the game so much like camping oriented. Like you just benefit so much from camping because you just have like a so big advantage. I mean, there's definitely people who can push people who are camping, right? But if they're camping somewhere in the nowhere with a sniper, and you as a player, you walk across the map, around you the bushes are not rendering in, so you don't see shit, right? Because like for you, the bushes are rendering in. They're around you. You don't see shit around you. But like a dude 400 meters away from you, he just sees you and fucks you up because he doesn't see the bushes. And then, like you see over there, if I look over there, there's a few bushes, but if you're a player over there, there's probably everything full with bushes and you can't see me stand down here, but I can shoot you up there, if you know what I mean. So that's something they probably need to work on as well. And in my opinion, the not rendering in mechanic, they could completely fix out by just deleting third person for PvP servers. So in PvP servers, in my opinion, there should be just first person. Besides on building mode, if you go to building, there needs to be the third person, because it just, I mean, if you're in first person, your character does like left, right, and it just makes building stupid. But for PvP, I think first person is the only thing that should be available over there. And that could cut out the not rendering in mechanic as well, which is in my opinion the biggest noob shit ever invented, because I also never saw a game which has a stupid mechanic like that where people just not rendering in. Okay, I think there's still a lot of more things, but I can't think of any more at the moment. I mean, building system also needs some fixes, but I think they're working on that already, and they're trying to improve all that shit. But yeah, those main three factors which I said are, in my opinion, some things that can kill SCUM. And yeah, that's basically it for the video. Goodbye.